everybody, how are you doing today? It's Marla. I have just woken up this morning, did not put any makeup on, had my breakfast, didn't even run a comb through my hair, but I thought I would do a kind of quickie do-it-yourself video on how to cut side swept bangs. Now I know there are a lot of videos on YouTube on how to cut hair, how to cut your bangs, but everybody kind of does things a little bit differently. I actually cut my entire head of hair. I've been doing it for 4 years. I kind of got sick of going to the hairdresser. I would always come back with kind of the hairstyle I wanted, but not quite the hairstyle I wanted. But the thing that I think that bugs me the most, or bugged me the most, when I was regularly getting my hair cut at the hairdresser was my bangs. I always envied people that really kind of didn't need bangs or hair didn't kind of grow in a bang way. I have bangs that just grow straight down. My hairline kind of grows straight down. So it's very tough for me not to have bangs. It would be almost impossible. I almost have to have a barrette or something to keep the bangs out of my eyes because that's the way my hair wants to grow. But I always envied people that didn't have bangs because they could go for weeks past their hair appointment, not worry. You know, what difference does it make if the ends of their hair are a little bit longer? But bangs are kind of a pain. They grow in your eyes and, you know, you need to get them cut. And when I was regularly going to a stylist, what I kind of noticed was I would go maybe every 7 weeks or so, 7 or 8 weeks. Out of that 8-week period, there were probably about 2 weeks that I liked my bangs. And the rest of the time, either they were too long and I was kind of waiting to go to get them cut, or I had just got them cut at the hairdresser and they were too short. By cutting my own bangs, it's almost like I have my own personal little stylist in the house, just constantly tweaking my bangs the whole time. That way they're really pretty much constantly and consistently the way I like them. And you are that personal stylist. It's cheap. I don't go to the hairdresser anymore. I do it all by myself. A lot of times I would go to the hairdresser just to get my bangs trimmed. But by the time I got there, it was kind of like, okay, I'm only going here to get my hair cut. And then she started cutting the rest of my hair. Or because I only went to get my bangs trimmed, she felt she had to give me my money's worth. So she would cut them really short and just drive me crazy. That's why this video is here. So this is kind of the equipment that I use, and I'm just going to kind of show you. Not everything is maybe necessary, but these are kind of the basics that I use to trim my side swept bangs. Because I cut all my hair, I got all the stuff at Sally's except for one thing, but I use actually kind of a stylus plastic cape. Hello, baby. That's my little poodle, or my big poodle. But I kind of use a stylus plastic cape when I cut all my hair because the hair starts flying out. It gets really messy, and all it is a little Velcro necked cape that I put around here that, you know, that you do normally put on when you go to get your hair done. But I use this when I'm cutting all my hair. Another thing I picked up from Sally's, very cheap, I think it costs like $5 or $6, is just a regular razor that looks like this. It almost looks like it has a little comb on the end. This comb part comes off, and this is the razor blade right here, which if you push up on this little button, you can actually pop that razor out and replace it with new razors. So when I cut all my hair, I usually put a new fresh razor blade on so it's really crisp when I'm cutting through my hair. It doesn't tug or pull. If I'm only going to do my bangs, I just kind of use whatever's in there as long as my razor is usually fairly sharp. So that's what you put a new blade on or have a new blade in there, and then you just replace the little comby part over it, and that's how you do the cutting of your hair. So the razor is essential. I also have a comb with me all the time because a lot of times I'm still kind of recombing my bangs as I'm trimming them, and usually a cup of water to dip the comb in to kind of re-wet my bangs if I'm taking a long time. And I don't like, unlike some people, I do not like to cut my bangs dry. I don't like the sound of the razor or the feel of the razor going through dry hair. It's very painful. It tugs on my hair. I feel like it damages my hair more. I like to have my hair wet. I do it very carefully, and I have yet to ever over trim my bangs. So wetting my hair is key. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to tell you. I think that's about it. I know not everybody wears side swept bangs. You can use, I prefer the razor because for me the razor is pretty much goof proof. You can hide a multitude of sin with a razor versus straight scissors. The only people that probably really have to use maybe straight scissors are people that have very blunt cut bangs. But even if you have, kind of little pieced bangs across your forehead going this way, or side swept bangs, I think you can get away with using a razor. My mom was a hairdresser. I learned a lot of things from her, but a lot of it I just picked up on my own and just working with my own hair and how I wanted my hair to lay. So the first thing I am going to do is right now I'm going to go and take my shower and wet my hair all up. The other thing you may want to have are some pins, bobby pins, or something that you can put your hair back with, because really I'm only going to be working with this bang area, and normally what I do is pin back the rest of my hair and just have the area that I want cut kind of let loose. So let me take my quick shower and I will be right back. I am fresh out of the shower, as you can see, and my hair is a total mess. And what I'm going to do is I'm basically just going to take my comb and my little cup of wet water and comb my bangs pretty much the way I plan on wearing them during the day once they're dry. So that's kind of how I start off with this whole process. Just basically styling my bangs while they're wet, getting the rest of the hair out of my face that I don't want. And I'm going to do, since it's very tough for me to kind of do this on this camera and get it precisely done, what I think I'll do is I'll kind of do this in steps. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to style my bangs the way I would normally wear them dry, and then I will show you step by step how I cut them. But then I will precisely cut them in front of my own magnifying mirror just to kind of make sure everything is very straight and perfect, but at least you'll get the general idea of how to cut bangs. So let me just quickly style my bangs and come right back, and then I'll show you how I cut them. So I've combed my bangs kind of where I normally would wear my part when they were dry and styled, and then the other thing I did is I just took some little clips and clip back the hair that I don't want to cut at this very moment and put that away from my bangs. So I'm kind of only concentrating on the bang area. And then I am just going to comb that straight down at the angle that I normally would wear it. So the next thing I do is I take my razor and I make sure that the little comb part is on the razor. I dip it in a little bit of water sometimes just to make sure the razor is a little wet. And then I just start with this part, the longest part of the bang right there, and just do at an angle, just a slight little trim. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it, see right here, so obviously I want the angle to go this way. So I'm going to cut at an angle that way so it goes from short to long. And I'm just going to do just a little touch on the tip, because you can just do this gradually to figure out, kind of exactly how long you want it. So I'm going to start here at the top and then gradually work my way down. So just like that. So just a little bit off there. Throw that in the garbage. So I have that right there, cut at an angle, and then I'm going to just move up to the next little segment right here, and then kind of do the same thing as I'm holding this whole piece right here together with the part I just cut. I'm going to start here and then just slice slowly long again. So I'm going to start high up a little bit more and then slowly just drag the razor along. And again, just taking off little tiny pieces of the tips of my bangs. And I just keep doing that. I just kind of keep working my way up to the longer pieces that need to be cut. And then I also kind of grab on to some of the pieces that have already been cut, kind of comb them all together so that I can I pull down, and again, I work my way at an angle. So I want it to go kind of from a little bit short to a longer down the side of my face. So I'm gonna start right here and just slowly take just a little bit off again, hardly anything. just the tips. I don't want to go crazy here and have short bangs. The whole point of cutting my bangs is to not have them crazy short again. There, and then I'm going to take the next segment right here and kind of feel the whole thing. Grab a little bit of stuff of the pieces that were already cut and pull down. And because my hair is wet, the slicing, the cutting is so easy, it just glides right through. It's not pulling. So again, I'm going to go from a little bit, I want the bangs to go angled for the way I wear them, so I'm going to start a little high, drag it down lower. Start right here, and then just let the razor just glide over the tip. Just took off just a little bit, not much, just a tip. That's all I need, because I do this so often, I really don't need, and you can see how they're coming slowly down at an angle. And then I'm going to take this next section right here and do the same thing while I grab the pieces that were already cut. That way I'm kind of blending in the shorter pieces with the pieces that are a little bit longer than the ones that have already been cut. So I'm going to get down just a touch. All I did was take off, I don't know if you can see, just a little tip right there. And let's see how this angle is looking. I do like to wear my bangs long, I just don't like them crazy long. And then let me get this, I didn't get this quite short enough right here. So again, I want it to go at an angle from shorter to longer. So that means I just start up a little bit higher here and then just gradually let my other hand just go down and have the razor follow the other hand all the way through. Cut the other tip off there. See how that's looking. There we go. It's starting, except I think I just need this a little bit shorter right here still. And you know, this is something that it's better that you do gradually rather than try to do this too quickly. You don't want to cut your bangs at a time where you're rushed, you feel rushed, because the last thing you want to do is chop your bangs up too short that it's kind of like, oh my gosh, you know, this is what I'm trying to avoid. So you don't want to do that. And then the last little bit is this little bit right here in the front that always seems to always want to be longer than the rest. Let me pull that down straight. And then at an angle, I'm going to again start a little higher and then drag this down longer. So that it goes from short to long. Here we go. And then one more piece right here. It's so hard for me to do this in the camera versus in my mirror. So I'm trying to be careful and not totally messing up my hair. Okay, so I pretty much have it angled the way I want it. What I think I'm going to do is I'm probably going to quickly go in the other room in the mirror just to make sure I have it right, because it's very hard to do this in the camera. And then on this side, this other side of my hair, where I have just this one piece right here, sometimes I also like to just slightly cut. This is actually part of my bang right here on the other side. I actually go just a little bit and begin, because I want it to go down at an angle, you know, from more shorter to longer. What I do is I just get the razor, start up just a little bit higher on this tip, and then just slowly drag it down and take off a little bit of the tip on this side. So let me just liven this up to make sure it's all perfectly angled the way I want it, and I'm going to show you one other thing I do to my bangs to give them a little bit more body. You may not want to do this, it kind of depends on the hairstyle you're wearing, but let me do that right now and I'll be right back. So I didn't do too bad of a job. I just kind of did a little bit more just to make sure the bangs kind of fell the way I wanted them to fall. Now the next thing I do is something that, it's just kind of something that I personally like to do. You don't have to do this, but I kind of like the way it makes my bangs look. If you want to see the rest of this haircut, just click on